Humanity. Strange little race we are, in the outer backwaters of the galaxy, with our small colonies, our squabbling, barely united world government, still struggling with the hundreds of nations on our home world. It was safe to say that Earth and humanity was regarded by the galaxy at large as simply another inefficient little empire of insignificant people in a vast cosmos, almost invisible economically and socially. Other races have created greater works of art, committed greater acts of glory, and discovered more arcane science than we ever have. The few who knew about us considered us an amusing little race, with a capability to form a pack with nearly anything. A neat little quirk, but hardly unusual. Pack hunting races are usually capable of pack bonding with lesser animals of the home world. Humanity, however, couldn't just form packs with animals of our own world. Nearly anything could pack bond with us, which was mostly discovered by accident, not through any real study of what humanity was capable of. Humanity spread a little, and a few of our more capable soldiers, rendered obsolete with the new advances in drone warfare and android police, decided to join the large seedy underbelly of the galaxy as hired guns, mercenaries. Humans are not the best warriors, not the best soldiers in the galaxy, but two things became clear to those who desire to hire PMCs. We were affordable and reasonably professional, but the secret bounty to anyone who bought the gun of a human soldier was the pack bonding. Any mercenary group where a human was inserted turned from what was usually a radically divergent group of individuals who got the work done with a lot of collateral into a focused, comprehensive group who cared for each other and worked together nearly flawlessly, resulting in quick and efficient missions. Because the human was, for all intents and purposes, capable of bonding with the others, forging links between the disparate parts of any company or brigade, and making them into a focused group of highly efficient killers. But it wasn't until the Vazin egg incident that it truly became apparent how strongly others could connect with humans. In galactic law, alien races are not allowed to adopt other aliens. Too many variables, too many possibilities for something going wrong. And in further violation, Vazin are not allowed off their homeworld till after their third Vazin war, nor are they allowed to return. So when a secret ship full of fertilized Vazin eggs in stasis were found by human scavengers in deep space, the humans couldn't return them. And the Vazin are raised to be killers, destroyers, conquerors. But humanity took the eggs back to their home, Earth, and hatched them. A race which had previously caused 3 genocidal wars. A race considered completely incapable of reason was found to have been raised in peace by humans, and they were peaceful. The humans had somehow bonded with one of the most efficient soldiers in the galaxy. When it was discovered, it was perhaps the first time in history that Earth had gotten any form of attention beyond a cursory official inspection. Galactic authorities were at first furious, then frustrated. They couldn't send the Vazin home to Til, nor were they pleased with the breaking of galactic adoption laws. So they let it slide, seeing that the thousands of hatched Vazin were having remarkably happy lives, bonded with humans, going to human schools, etc. But some started to worry. How could a race like the Vazin be tamed like that? How could humanity do that? Because we can pack bond with anything, and anything can pack bond with us, is the right answer. More astonishing was it when a human ship managed to join a pack of Dehvaoshi, a race of giant organisms with a primitive FTL bioengine who lived in space. Mostly, they were considered a bloody nuisance by the rest of the galaxy, but humanity considered them fascinating, even beautiful. How could we not? They were resplendently colored like living rainbows as they floated majestically through space, consuming asteroids and siphoning gaseous fuel from giant gas planets. They spoke with light, shining in different hues to indicate moods, warn of incoming fast objects, spread news, etc. Intelligent, but completely alien. And the human ship joined one of their vast herds, and with various artificial lights managed to talk to them, to learn of their ancient journeys, of their secret paths through the cosmos. The humans had inserted themselves into the single most alien pack in existence, and had been accepted as one of the flock. But even more worrying was the Joslo event. It was found that a colony ship carrying humans had crashed on a primitive world by accident. The survivors had met with the locals and established communication. For 200 years they were stranded on that world. 200 years. And the humans had been absorbed into the primitive tribes of that world. They had bonded with us, adapting us into their culture, their civilization. It was unprecedented. Empathy towards other races is not uncommon, but to fully integrate others into your pack and be fully integrated into others, this was worrying. The more we humans interacted with aliens, the more we baffled them. Human joins pack of giant predators on Neoledad. Humans find raised by escaped bioweapon on an abandoned space station. Humans adopt orphaned aliens. Humans forms a pack with 3 curious hive minds. Those stories became even more and more common, as humans could adapt everywhere, join everyone, and have everyone join us. Reactionary forces in the Galactic Systems Federation began to plot our downfall. Because despite our spread, we were still a small interstellar nation, still small and insignificant in comparison to older, more established groups. And they were starting to be terrified of us. We could freely move between the species, integrate anyone into our midst, and integrate ourselves into all others. The usual conspiracies arose. They said we were mind-controlling others. We said that we'd probably be richer if that was the case. They said that we were manipulating others and weakening the galaxy with our compassion, before our evil extragalactic masters comes and eats the galaxy. We said that was ridiculous, and we would probably be trying to spread more peace if that was the case. They said we used our evil pheromones and unnatural beauty to influence and seduce innocent alien races into our vile hands. We pointed out that the most commonly accepted standards of beauty in the galaxy is so far removed from what humans actually look like that we're technically considered less physically attractive than a chair. But reactionaries, fearing to lose their power, are good at stoking the fires of ignorance and hate. But we already had more than enough friends, more packmates than them. Mercenaries no longer wanted to operate without human friends. Shipping companies and shipyards who refused to service human ships found a sudden increase in Devosi aggression and numbers. A very intelligent and rebellious bioweapon, and her ship, full of humans, single-claudedly reinvented brutal space piracy on those who attacked or disliked humans. In the end, they couldn't last, because humans are, for the lack of a better word, infectiously likable. We're stupid, we do strange things, but others like us. And they like us enough to make us part of their world, to make us part of their family, their pack. And we do the same to them. So those powers who feared the rise of the humans ordinary, friendly, and mostly harmless, as we ultimately are, fell in power and wealth, while those who agreed that somehow we were strangely charming and very good to have around for unit or pack cohesion rose in strength and prosperity. Earth is still a backwater hellhole, but we have a lot of friends now, and a lot of them come to us too, because we make it work for all of them together. Because when you put 5 aliens together, you get a bloody big row going. But when you put a human in, well, you'll still get a bloody big row going too. But afterwards, instead of swearing blood oaths for vengeance, aliens can joke about it and have the local variant of a cold one with the boys together. Because they're pack bonded with the human, and the human has bonded with them, making all of them one pack.